Hey, this is CJ, and I want to tell you about our new show, Minding Your Business After Hours. After Hours is your behind the scenes look into how we grow our ventures. We brainstorm, screen share, and work through the steps we're taking each week. Jump in the bullpen with us and learn new skills while getting stuff done. You can access After Hours by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/minding your business. This week on the Minding Your Business podcast, we talk about AI twin results, content strategy, and using minimum effective dosing to stay productive. Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with everybody's favorite co-host,
Aaron Gerald. You know what? It's hysterical. I'm sitting here and you're doing the countdown for me, the 5, 4, 3, and I got my, my ADD bouncing, and I got my leg bouncing, and then you're like 2, and then you go silent, so I get all still and get all scared. Anyway,
I'm bringing the tension.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad we're here. There's a man. This has just been a super crazy busy week.
Felt.
And I don't know. Every time I think I've got my week figured out, I know what next week's going to be like. It ends up not being like that at all.
Right.
And I got to tell you, I broke it wasn't necessarily a promise, but I really tried really hard not to go into HeyGen. And I know I was going to wait and you were going to test it and I was going to count on you to test it. And I was like, Wednesday came along and I'm like, dude, he is not going to record his own videos and put his face in and try it and see how it looks. I already have, I don't know, hundreds of hours of video of me doing it. I can find enough video to do it. And so I ran a couple samples to see what it would look like with me on there.
Nice.
And I can tell you this, it is good, but I think if I had to guess, it's not that great at people with beards yet.
Okay.
As compared to non-beards, just because there's like a little bit, it's not as crisp around the mouth.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm not paying the paid version. I'm still doing the free one or whatever. I
don't think that would matter. I think it's because that you just get a lower resolution. You get like 720 instead of 1080 or 4K.
And maybe that's it, because I look a little grainy, like it's a little rough. But that's probably what it is. I'm so used to high def now that seeing it in 720, I'm like, what is this garbage?
Right.
So that's probably it. But I have to say, it did a 90%, 95% decent job. Decent enough that when I was watching it, I'm like, I don't remember saying that like that. And because I didn't say it, I typed it, I said it in my head, I uploaded it, and then it used my voice and lip synced to make it look like I made that video.
Yeah.
So it was good enough, not good enough for YouTube. It's not good enough for my true fan base, right?
Okay.
Assuming I have, all 3 of them. But I can say this, it's good enough for testing. And because I use TikTok for testing and to test, like we talked about, using it to test the hooks, I now write out some hooks, get the AI to say it.
Yeah.
Now I don't waste any more time. I can have it say 3. I chop the one video into 3 parts. I plop it up there and boom, I test all 3 hooks. All I need to know is how many views did it get? Yes, it pisses people off. It does. It irritates people. They watch it. You didn't answer the question. No, I opened the loop. And then you stuck around and then you got irritated that I didn't close the loop. That's called a good hook. So it gives me the information I'm looking for. Now I go back and I record myself doing that hook at the beginning of the video that I wanted to do, because I wasn't sure how to open that video 2, 3 different ways, which is the best. Now I know, boom, now I can create it. So for me, it's a time saver, because I don't want to record myself doing 3 different hooks and then edit them and then post them and then put them and do whatever. I posted some AI content on my TikTok channel. Nobody has said anything yet. Granted, I cover up a lot of it with B-roll because I've got the new Fire Cut. And so I cut the B-roll in on there. And anytime where I'm like, ooh, that didn't quite line up, I throw a B-roll over top of it. It may or may not fit, but it doesn't matter, because TikTok likes instant, just change the scene every 2 seconds. It's got to be something different. Grab your attention. Oh, why is there a lake with a duck on it when you're talking about, being confident? Because a duck's confident.
Don't you know ducks stand for confidence? Or if you
Right.
could.
So yeah, it's kind of silly, but I don't want to spend a lot of time. I'll tell you, I made an AI video from start to finish to test
Uh-huh.
in, aside from the latency of it processing
Okay.
the video, I would say 20 minutes to from start to post, aside from the extra like 25 minutes that it took to process and give me the video.
Nice.
So really not too shabby. I mean, it saved me a bunch of time. It would have taken me that long to set the camera up.
Yeah, I did mine overnight, so I didn't know how long it took.
Oh, I've
I
had it
also
take
I also
different.
did one.
Oh, I've done 3. The first one, boom, processed in nothing, like 5 minutes. The second one processed in like 15, and the third one took about 40 minutes. But I think it's because the time I was doing it at, one was really early in the morning, one was really late in the evening, and one was right in the middle of the day. And I think the middle of the day one took me the longest, but it was okay because I was doing it in the background of doing other things. So it's just like I got it, uploaded it, hit it, put the script in, boop, and then let it process while I was working on other things. So it was kind of double duty, worked really
Yeah.
well. Instead of me having to just do all the filming in the back and forth.
I just
Now,
wanna point out, this is very you.
yeah,
You're waiting on me to give you feedback on something, and this is why we're friends, because unlike other people that would, I would show them how to do something and then they would maybe not apply it. I'm
right.
trying to get to the point where I can show you how to do something, give you my recommendation and all that stuff, and you can't handle it. You just have to keep going. You have to go, "No, I'm too curious." I mean, and so I love that
I
about you.
Dude, I waited till Wednesday. And what's crazy, I do virtual sessions on Wednesday, right?
Okay.
But I have 10 minutes in between each session. And so in that 10 minutes, I would go and get my pre-written script and then copy and paste it into the AI gen and then let it process. And then I would click out and I would go do my session. So it would be all this stuff's happening in the background. And I'm like, dude, nothing like 2 birds, right? I
Right.
think it took 40 minutes. It's off on those little tiny windows on the side of my Mac now. And so I could see that there was this little purple box where it said processing, and then that processing purple box went away at about 40 minutes. And I only noticed because I'm looking at 100 things at once. So
Right.
I saw it in the little tiny window. Now I didn't click off. I didn't do like I was still paying attention and doing what I was supposed to do. But I did notice at about 40 minutes, which was about 10 minutes before the end of the session, that little purple thing was gone. So I don't know. I'm assuming it was about 40 minutes. So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But
Okay.
here we are. Now, I said it would take me a long time to set the camera up. I have been using another cheat code, which is not as cheaty as AI. I get it. But I'm using a teleprompter so that I'm not having to go, wait, where's my where's my bullet point thing?
Right.
Oh, that's right. And then I go to the next thing. So this way I can have it up in this on the screen. Anyway, I'm really liking that. That's working really well for me, but that also takes a lot of time to set up. And I'm setting it up, trying to get all these different views and these different angles and this different stuff. And I recognize too that people don't watch the video behind me as much as I do. They watch me. And in fact, I'm going to guess too that as long as it's clear and it's not all weird and choppy and chunky, they're not actually watching me anyway, because if they're paying attention to what I'm saying, they're most likely in their own head thinking about their situation and their stuff that they've got going on in the first place. So it's really not all that important what's going on behind me. I'm not entertaining,
Right.
I'm
Right.
informational, and I'm explaining something to them to get them to a place that they want to go, which means they're probably very reflective while they're watching my videos in the first place.
I mean, I still think
So
you're entertaining, but
with that, well, hopefully. So with that in mind, and especially since I'm starting to create I decided to create the membership where people can, who are interested in that information but want to ask questions and do live Q&A kind of stuff. This is where I would ultimately do it.
okay.
This is my virtual office. This is where I've got the microphone, the decent camera, like all the stuff. I kind of got it set up. I like to think I'm getting it set up. I've got this cute little light here that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace. And then, I got my shelf. It's not organized. It doesn't look great yet. It's a process. But I had an epiphany today. I think I'm going to set up because almost all my videos I do, it's talking head. I put some
Right.
B-roll in there, but
Right, right.
honest to God, I'm so focused on what I'm saying. I don't have time to walk around. And, I don't know. I'm not doing vlog videos. So I think I'm going to set up the teleprompter or in at least a marker board behind me so I can put my notes and stuff there. So I'm looking past the camera. So I'm not having to just look away and then edit that out while I'm making my videos.
Right.
I can set it all up right here in the other corner of this room because this one kind of shines back a little bit straight, but at this corner.
Right.
And then I'll set up the teleprompter with my bar stool, set up all the time. When I'm ready to shoot, I grab my phone, I grab my mics, I plug them in, I stick the iPad on there, boom, I've got the teleprompter, everything's set. I start recording.
Dude,
my recording
that.
setup
Yeah.
will drop to 2 minutes.
Right.
From 15 of carrying it out and then setting up a light. I have lights set up back here anyway that I then can just turn on, boom, and I'm well lit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, my God, I can save myself so much time. When I go 20 minutes to set up and tear down every time I make a video or to move it to get a different angle to thing, and then I look at them, oh, I don't like this lighting. I set it up one time I get decent lighting. I record all my video.
That's it. You become
Why am I
an
overthinking
efficiency machine, right? Like,
yeah,
you're not having to put that time in, which is taking away, not just taking away from your time, it's taking away from your focus. You need to be able to like just turn it on, do the thing, do the recording, right? And not worry about like, okay, because if you're setting things up, you're gonna mess your hair up or whatever, these are important things. But
yes, and then
if it's hot, if it's the summer, you'll get a little sweaty.
Yes.
You gotta like, stop sweating, and it just takes away from the quality and the brain power that you could put into that video, right? The focus. And so I love that. Plus you'll just be able to knock them out because you're going to save time setting up. And
I got to tell you, sometimes I'm writing the script, and as I'm typing up the script, I'm in the mindset I need to be to say the video, to do it. And a lot of times I'm just like, man, I should just hit record right here and do it. But I'm set up with the other stuff. I need to look a little more professional. I'm going to do it the other way. So, but then I grab all the equipment and I'm walking and I bang it. And then I'm like, oh gosh. And it drives me crazy. I get so frustrated. It takes me and it shifts my mindset to a not good place. And then I'm like, okay, now I got to record the video.
Right.
Now I got to calm down and get back into the mindset. So
my toe is still throbbing because I stubbed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes so long to get back there versus if I just was like click, 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 boop, bam, knock it out. Next one, next one, next one. I feel like if that was what I was doing, that makes so much more sense. Plus, realistically, if the scene doesn't change, the camera angles, nothing changes.
Yeah.
I could easily create a talking head video of myself just doing these standard motions, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then I can test with HeyGen. I can test out as many hooks as I wanted. I don't use the AI hook, but I test the hook. It's going to have the initial look of the video anyway.
Right.
So it's not going to be that far off from what's actually going to take place when I shoot the video.
Yeah.
But I can then test it and go, nope, that worked. I didn't like the way the AI made my hand movement off from what I was saying. Instead, I'm really going to emphasize it the way I normally would because I think the AI only allows hand gestures down here, but I'm always right up here and, right. I go crazy. So I need all of that extra.
Yeah.
For it to look like me for reals. But TikTokies, they don't care. They just want to know, did you hook me? Did you not? Right. So I'll use that to test the hooks. Then I'll use the good hooks to engage with the audience on YouTube. Now, the reason that I'm using YouTube to monetize,
I was going to ask because
TikTok,
you're on both, and a lot of people are using TikTok to make money, not YouTube. So, give me like why you're using TikTok just to test. I mean, I know why, because you can test, but why are you not worried about monetization on TikTok?
Okay. I'm glad you asked. So, actually, here's the reason why I think. This is my reasoning. This may be flawed. I don't know. But my understanding of the two platforms are that YouTube is a search. What the hell is it? It's a search.
I mean, it's the number 2 search engine.
It's the number 2 search engine in the world, connected with Google, which is the number 1. So realistically, if you put something out on YouTube, you're getting it on YouTube and Google. If you SEO it correctly on YouTube, you get both. So you're now on the #1 and #2 search engine in the world. It's a search engine that searches content that exists outside of its own platform. Yes, I'm hosting my material on YouTube, and yes, that channel belongs to them, but I'm linking constantly to my own website.
Okay.
Google
so the end game is
leads
really
people
to
to
monetize on your
YouTube,
website.
and it leads people to my website. I mean, Google leads them to YouTube, and it leads to my website.
Right.
TikTok gets pissed if you go anywhere but TikTok.
Right.
They don't want you to do anything outside of TikTok. However, I feel like YouTube is a train. It's going to go where you want to get to. Okay, but it ain't making stops. It isn't agile.
Right.
Versus TikTok is a crazy AI-driven Uber, right? That you get into that goes fast. You get real-time response. I post a video on TikTok. I get the first 1 to 200 impressions in the first less than the first 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Like I know within an hour if it's a winner or loser.
Okay.
And I know because I either get 200 or less, right? You've heard of the 200 jail, or I get 800 to 1,000. And if I'm getting 700, 800, 900, 1,000 in that first hour, I know I got a really great hook.
Yeah.
If I get 200 or less, it wasn't good enough, so the algorithm stopped. Now, granted, I'm not creating viral content. It's not 100,000 views, but I'm getting the first initial hook. It's not good enough complete content to blow up, but I'm getting that initial hook. I'm hooking them. They're following it. They're watching it. And they're like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted from it. And then they leave. Great. In order to be viral content, what it needs to do is they need to watch the entire video, then go to your page, then binge watch all of your stuff. And then, okay, great. I'm not that person and I don't care that much. And so
if you
the
put
best
all
I
your
could hope
eggs in
to
one
do,
basket of just trying to keep them on YouTube and all you ever care about is watch hours, then there's games that you have to play. But if you're using YouTube as a search engine and your end game really eventually is going to get people to go to your website to transact, elsewhere.
Yes.
YouTube's way better than that.
I'm trying to use YouTube as a hub for my serious audience.
Right.
I'm not trying to create a broad, giant entertainment audience.
Sure.
I'm trying to find and target the people that are looking for something specific that I can help them with. And then they find me and they go, man, you're the guy. This is the help I needed. This is what I'm looking for.
The qualified audience.
Yeah. So a fully invested audience who wants to see what I'm creating. They're going to watch one video. They're going to watch the whole series of videos. They're going to be involved. They're going to get in the membership. They're going to join the community. They're going to talk. They're going to engage. They're going to ask questions. They're going to get private video. Like all of that stuff is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for 1 million people to like and follow, and then I just get ad revenue.
Right. Good.
So
that is
the shift. And I think that would be awesome on TikTok because you get immediate response. If I was putting out really great, entertaining, oh, here's fail videos. Yes, I would do it on TikTok. I'm not doing that on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
But because I'm trying to build a community, I want to do it on YouTube. Because look how easy TikTok could be taken away. I do believe that was a BS scam. But nonetheless, they could just easily say, that's outlawed, gone.
Yep.
How are you going to outlaw YouTube, right? Like they're already following all the rules other than changing the rules. And I think too much support and government funding comes from them in the first place. I don't think they're going to get rid of that.
I know how much you love Amazon. So I don't know what happened with this. Just a couple days ago, Amazon put in a bid to buy TikTok because they had until tomorrow to again, like they got an extension, I don't know. I'm not following it too closely. I just saw something pop up and I thought that was interesting. Someone made if they put a video together, like if Amazon buys TikTok, like it's product placement after product placement after product placement, it's going to be all about, it's going to turn into QVC. Everyone's got a QVC channel.
I'd absolutely no one on this planet can take TikTok serious. Right? Yeah, please. So, and there are people that mistake it for serious media.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I just say you are what you eat.
Right.
So they're eating
And
bullshit.
it's especially good at showing you the things that you want, like that you've already watched. I mean, they all are, right? But
TikTok has an amazing algorithm.
It does.
Like set up
It's impressive.
underneath. It's really good at
Yeah.
figuring out what you want.
I just don't spend time on there because I don't need my days to disappear.
I don't watch anything on it. I post my stuff. Now, when I click on it to open it, it's irritating. There's no way to save it to open on your page. It always opens on the For You page. And it's getting better and better and better at posting that first initial video to catch my attention.
Yep.
It is getting better at it. Not good enough to have me swipe, but I'll pause for an extra second and be like, you're getting good. And then I go to my page and I upload my stuff. So I don't watch shit on it, but I use it for what I need it to be used for.
Right.
And then I think as a tool, it makes sense, but it is a machete. Like it is for happening, shopping right this minute. Right. And so if I use it for that, it works really well. But I'm not hoping to, oh man, if I could get 3 million views, I can make $1.15. I'm not interested in that. No, that's never going to happen with my content.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes against the whole like idea of being an entrepreneur. You know? And that's one thing, like I know content creator is one of the largest jobs, if not the largest, quote unquote profession in the US right now. It's, forgive me for saying this, but it's not exactly like owning a business. It's not exactly like being an entrepreneur. It's just working for someone else. It's being in sales. You can control your paycheck, but at the end of the day, you're not in control. So,
I would say, yeah, I think you're right. I believe you are a distraction peddler.
Yes.
And I understand that's going to ruffle feathers, but you are simply peddling a distraction to keep people on whichever platform you're creating content for.
Yeah.
That is the typical definition of every content creator. When you ask them, what do you do? I create content to keep people on the platform that you're posting it on. Like, let's not pretend that you're changing the world. Like your goal is to keep them on that platform and keep them on your channel, focused on your information so that you can make ad revenue.
Yeah.
That's it. If that's your goal, awesome. I mean, good for you. Peddle better distractions.
Right.
Grab attention from a population whose attention is being butchered down to fractions of a second. Like, okay.
I'm you think a guy like Mr. Beast, he's taken that and turned it up on, upside down, right? Like,
I don't want to be
a businessman.
Part of that.
Yeah.
I want to say, hey, slow down. If you're interested in learning something, stay here.
Right.
So yes, I get it. I have to grab their attention long enough to get them hooked. But then that's what I'm going to use that platform for.
Yeah.
Because it is a madhouse bucket of fish in a feeding frenzy. So if I can get a couple on the hook, which I understand now why they call it hooking, if you can hook them, then you can reel them in. Okay, you don't need everyone in the bucket, but if you're depending on what you're looking to do.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed the trend of YouTubers that are retiring in the last probably 6 months, maybe not that long. But like some very big YouTube names that have been around for a long time.
Right.
And it's basically like they all have their different reasons, but if there is a thing that unites them, they're all entrepreneurs. They weren't just content creators. They have created a business outside of and around YouTube, but now they have other things that they can pursue, and they don't have to keep doing YouTube.
Right.
So
because typically speaking, those entrepreneurs that you're talking about created an income, then invested the income in their other business or in furthering their business or in something else.
Yeah.
And now that superseded the need of the time that it takes to stay on YouTube and stay relevant.
And they weren't like they were getting ad revenue, but that wasn't the majority of their income. So
right.
So, like, going over, like, HeyGen stuff. I did a video, but I didn't do my my own avatar, my twin. I put together just one of their avatars.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So I need to ask you really fast.
yes.
Did it or does it count as one of your 3 videos?
Well, only once you download it or share it, like, share it, on social media or something. So, I've got a few. I think I have 4 videos that I've started and only one that I've actually rendered. Um, but it hasn't counted towards my 3 free yet. I'm gonna end up getting the paid version. I'm fairly certain.
I like the idea of the paid version. I like the fact that it's longer videos, but that was my question. I clicked into my account. I've created 3
Mhm.
different AIs of me, and they done it's none of it counts. It's called an avatar.
Right. Right.
And so then it says, "Oh, you get 400 looks from that avatar." So my avatar is AJ. It's me. I just named my avatar AJ. Um, and I have 3 separate looks because I used 3 different camera angles of
Right.
me, you know. And then I told it, "Hey, use this look with this script," and it created the video.
Yeah.
Then I downloaded the video. It's not even watermarked, but it's only in 720. And it
Not even
doesn't count
watermarked.
as
Wow.
any of my videos because it
Okay.
still says I have 3 videos left. I've made 3 videos. I've made 3 looks. I've done like all of the stuff. I figured, oh, I'm out now.
Interesting.
And I didn't start until the first. So I know I'm in this month. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I did it before the first and now. No, I've done everything this month and it hasn't counted any of it. So I don't understand what the video is, but I do know this. It said, "Do you want to make a video?" And it's like, "Yes." I click make a video and it's like, "Cool." And then it's talking about making it like you're making them with the things and the slides and the different stuff and the thing
Right.
like a video. And I'm like, "No, just use this pre-written script that I'm going to upload for you and just make that avatar say this." And then it's like, "Oh, never mind. It's not a making a video." But it still makes it, processes it, puts it, does it, and then I can download it and it doesn't count as a video.
You found some kinda loophole.
I'm getting
I don't
two and
know.
a half minute videos and it doesn't count.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll show you my results. So we went
Okay.
through on last week's after hours. Um,
Okay.
we went through, I showed
Yes.
you, what I was doing and everything. So this is basically the result of what I had been working on. We
Yes.
went with a different avatar, different voice. Like this, I think this is the best one.
Okay.
And so I'll just bring it up really quick. And this one thing, it's like a top 10 frequently asked questions.
Uh-huh.
And so we can use that and we can also cut it out and make each FAQ its own video. So it gives us 11 videos out of this one video. So
Okay.
let me
Yeah,
let me bring it
because
up.
if you take it and pop it in Premiere, then you chop it up into whatever you want. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and make it full screen here.
Okay.
I want to make sure you can hear this, and then we'll take it full screen.
Here's our top 10
Yeah.
frequently asked questions for restaurant websites. Why do I need a professionally designed website for my restaurant? Design matters. A professional website helps attract new customers, build credibility, and streamline operations with features like online reservations and ordering. It's a 24/7 marketing tool that grows your business and keeps diners engaged. Can I update my menu or business information myself? Yes, we provide you with an easy to use platform that allows you to make updates whenever you need without technical expertise. We're also here whenever you need help. Do you handle online reservations and ordering integration? Absolutely. We can integrate with popular platforms like OpenTable, Resi, and direct ordering solutions to help streamline your operations. Will my website be mobile friendly? Yes, every website we build is fully responsive, meaning your website looks and works perfectly on all devices, desktops, tablets, and smartphones. How will customers find my website? We optimize your site for local SEO, ensuring it ranks well on search engines when potential customers search for restaurants in your area. What makes your service different from other website providers? We specialize in restaurant websites, so we understand the unique needs of your business. Our sites are built to drive growth, streamline operations, and deliver an exceptional customer experience.
Okay, so you get the idea. I won't
Yep.
I won't force you to watch the whole thing. But basically, I mean, the only issue I see, it's actually not something I see, it's something I hear. I hear on the slides where she's not actually visible, the avatar isn't visible. I hear a slight, it might be 2 decibels,
Deeper
like a
voice.
little bit lower. But I can smooth that out in post. So,
Okay. I
they're
was like, I
also
did notice that. It sounds like she's a little farther away when she's talking.
right, right. Which look, in reality, that would probably be done. Actually, would normally be louder, I would say, because it would probably be
Yeah.
done like into a microphone like this instead of like a lav or something like that. But
Right.
I mean, super happy with that. And each one of those like questions and answers we can chop up and share on social media separately. And so I'm pretty, like I said, I fully see us doing this. The big, I think deciding factor is going to be what does my, now that you've done yours, what does my AI twin look like? Does it work or do like the mannerisms thing? Like I talk with my hands, but I talk with my hands probably more off camera. Um, where your like hands are up in the camera's face, right?
Yeah.
So I know you
Yeah.
can't do that.
Right.
But anyway, so I think, let's put it this way. If it works as well as it did for, using one of their avatars, hands down. Um, because we would use it. I think I talked about this on the after
Yep.
hours, but like specifically, like let's say we had some kind of lead
Intro
magnet,
video.
right? And
Yep.
so it's something where like, here's, at the end of something or on social, whatever, go here to download this thing. People put in their name and email, they download the thing, and then we wait 4 hours and then send them an automated email. It takes their name, maybe the industry they're in, or their website, or whatever merge information we want to use, and it
Right.
actually creates that video dynamically
Right.
with their information on a landing page, and it's just like a welcome, thank you, whatever it is. And so it could look like I sat down and recorded and said, hey, Jerry, just want to say thank you so much for downloading this lead magnet, blah blah blah. Really rooting
Dude,
for you in
first
your
of all,
restaurant.
first of all, it's way better than that. It is way, way better than that. Let me tell you why. Because I don't know how far you went into it. I haven't done that sample video yet,
Okay.
but the walking video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So with the new phones, they've got that steady cam thing. So it's going to be
Yeah.
fine. You hold your phone out and you're like, Jason, bro, thanks so much. And you're walking into your office or you're walking, across the parking lot. I had to take a second. I want to say, welcome to the thing. Now it looks like you were like, dude, I'm not even waiting until I get to the office. I had to
Right.
say thanks. I'm coming back from lunch. I'm coming back from like it could look like that. I watched the one and he obviously had somebody backing as he
Right.
was walking forward with a hand in a pocket and too much. But I thought, oh my God, you know how powerful that would be if it looked like you were walking and then saying it.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Like honestly, like I'd get a kick out of that. I would like that. And I
I
feel like it's important because I do those type of videos. Like when somebody does something cool or says something, I'm like, hey, thanks for asking the question. I appreciate it. Let me give you a quick answer. I'm going to just email this to you. And then I just send it to them.
yeah.
And I like the look of me walking around, not just sitting in my office being like, let me tell you what I want to say. I feel like it's more personal. Like they feel like they're walk and talk, like they're
Yeah.
doing a walk and talk with you. Like we are both just walking somewhere and doing something. And I don't know, it feels much more personal. And I get the irony of making an AI video that's much more
More
personal,
personal. Yeah.
but because we're trying to personalize it, dude, I feel like I need to test it and make sure it
Mhm.
works. But I feel like that's money, dude. That's gonna be it.
I think that combined with segmenting your email list, you know, oh, there's again, my gears are spinning, right? Like I
Mhm.
really do. There's stuff that I just like I don't even want to talk about yet. But I see a definite use for this outside of just being efficient, right? So you're using it in
Mhm.
efficiency way, right? To try to get,
Right.
here, what hook should I use? But there's just
Yes.
so many applications, and having that plus having your like teleprompter set up over there, to the side,
Right.
gonna make all the
I feel like being able to do that, I'm making all my videos is still me
yeah,
on YouTube,
yeah,
which is where I'm telling people I am.
right,
And now I don't care if a reflection of me is on TikTok, but it helps find me the words I need to use to more to to make the connection better.
right, right.
So anyway, I feel
So
like it's using a tool. Like, yes, I could use a hand screwdriver to screw in that screw, or I can use a power drill. Why wouldn't I use the power drill? Because
right,
people think that's cheaty. Well, it was until everyone had a power drill.
right, right,
But the first people that had the power drill, yeah, they were considered cheaty, but at the same time, they got more work done faster.
right. I mean, it's no different than cars and horses. Um, yeah, it's gonna end up changing the world, and I don't
Mhm.
think AI is replacing us. It's
No,
how do we
I'm not
adapt
looking
to
for it
it?
to replace. Yeah.
Right, right. I don't want to replace and I don't want to be replaced. I want to learn and I want to leverage. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I really think that, I mean, you've heard me say this a bunch. It's about having a new tool in your toolkit. So,
Yeah.
um,
And to be honest, like, yes, would I rather have Johnny or Tina in the office doing those, practicing the hooks and trying them? Sure.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess I would. But the trouble with that is, it's like, unless they wore an Aaron mask, you know what I mean?
Right,
What was the
right,
hook? Was it her
right.
smile? Was it her facial expression? Was it, or was it his? Like, what? So there's really no way to measure
Yeah.
other than to have exactly me do the hook, unless I do. It's like a reflect. I just think of an AI as a reflection of me. Like, it's
Right.
not me, but it's my reflection.
Sure.
Now, granted, some reflections are in mirrors and some are on windows, and
Right.
some are better than others. You know what I
True.
mean? There's good reflections and bad reflections, but I feel like that's probably the truest way to find out what works is going to work the best for me.
Yeah.
Like, so do I need to personally test all the shovels to figure out which one's going to dig better? I don't know. I don't think I should have to,
Yeah.
when I
Well,
have somebody else volunteering to do it.
this is the exciting thing. Like we started talking about how exciting this year was going to be towards the
Yeah.
end of last year, right? And this is a
Right.
part of it
Right.
because not that we're relying solely on AI, but what's happening. Um, I've I do a lot of reading in my spare time, um, learning,
Right.
reading, not just books, but online, and I'm trying to stay. Ooh, did you hear that?
Is that thunder?
That was thunder. Yeah. We're in the middle of a flood watch right now, or flood warning right now. So if I
Okay.
float away, you know what happened. Um, but I'm constantly trying to stay up, just kind of stay up with what's
Right.
happening in technology and AI, and so much stuff is happening. It's crazy. It's hard to keep up with. But that's why you can have AI summarize it for you.
Right.
Anyway, but we're at a place where people like you and me can build things. It is the time. This is the year. This is the new season for solopreneurs
Yeah.
because we have access to crazy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have access to things
Oh,
that we didn't have access to a year ago.
right.
I look at, and we talked about this a little bit, I think maybe last week, you know, having the marketing agency, like
Right.
realistically, I think our team got up to 7, and I knew, like, everything that I laid out, it was gonna take 10 people to really grow this thing, and we did well,
Okay.
but to really make this thing not rely so much on me was gonna take 10 people, um, and that's an
Okay.
expensive thing if you think about what an average salary would be, and so you have to make,
Right.
this a fairly decent amount just to pay the bills, and so there's a lot of
Right.
bloat. And at the end of the day, you're always, you better treat your people right because they might leave. And so
Right.
now I find myself in like, we have this business, we have this business, and I'm basically trying to rebuild the marketing agency one cog at a time. But instead of it being employees or subcontractors, it's with partners. So at the end of the day, when this is all rebuilt, the goal is to have a full functional system, like a full service agency that's in parts. And if at the end of the day, I would be an owner of each piece, a co-owner in each piece.
Right.
But then the other person that's doing the work is a co-owner also. So it's not an employee or subcontractor relationship, it's partnerships. And
Right.
If for whatever reason that cog no longer works, like if I need out, if they need out,
Right.
we take that cog out, the rest of the machine still works, and we can find a new
Right.
piece to put in there, or we need to add a new cog, and there's specifically like an AI cog that has to fit into this machine.
Right.
That all can happen now, where 10 years ago that would have been really, really difficult to do, or even 3 years ago. And so
Right.
I'm super excited, not just from an efficiency standpoint, but just everything is becoming more and more accessible. And
Right. Okay.
anyway, so
Agreed.
speaking of cogs in the machine, uh, I've talked a little bit about Niche.
Right.
So a spin-off from Niche and one of the new cogs that we're not just creating, and expecting people to show up. Like you and I've talked about this. We want to get away from the idea of like if you build it, they'll come.
Right.
But we've had a few clients basically that asked us for social media management.
Okay.
And I know how ironic that sounds, knowing me, knowing that I want very little to do with social media, and that I
Right.
really would just prefer to be in my cave and be left alone. But that doesn't mean I don't understand the business. It just means that I don't necessarily want the attention. So
Right.
anyway, so we've started a new venture. It's launching. It's in beta right now, but it's called
Okay.
Looky Social. Would you like to see our logo? We just finalized the logo 2 days ago.
Okay. Then
Would you
yes.
like to see it?
Yes. I
Because
think I
I'm
would.
going to show it whether you want to see it or not. How about that?
Oh, okay. Well then no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. So this is Looky. We wanted something that was kind of like whimsical, fun, cartoony. And
Okay.
so that is what we got. I want to shout out Cam at Canvas Design Company in Bakersfield, California. He designed that for us. And we gave him a write-up of what we wanted, and he came up with this, and he just nailed it. So the idea is, like, the tagline is to get eyes on your business, right? So we want, from the very beginning, when we first started talking about this, it was about a year ago.
Okay.
We came up with the name, and it's the two O's. We wanted to have eyes, so Looky, the two O's are the eyes, and that leads us to, later on, maybe if we want to have a character, or some kind of, thing, we could do that. But again, going back to like getting eyes on your business. And so we have all of our packages and stuff like almost finalized. We're about 90%. But it's an exciting thing, because this is one of those markets that I wouldn't just feel comfortable going into on my own. I wouldn't.
Right.
But with my partner in this, very, very confident. And we have the team to actually put together the creative, and to all the management is really easy. It's very, very streamlined, and it's very organized. So we're beta testing the system with Niche. So
Okay.
if you start seeing some Niche ads, we're trying to post a couple times a week.
Okay.
You will. That's the stuff coming out of Looky. So anyway,
Okay.
little shameless self promotion, but that's the next thing. So
Sure.
we kind of go back to like, who am I, right?
Right.
Serial entrepreneur, serial optimist, like unrelenting optimist. And if it doesn't work and I fail, guess what? I'm going to learn something from that. But I
Yeah.
can't let this idea just fester. Like, I have to
Right.
pursue it,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like,
And why not? Like it's when you're being asked to provide a service, it's lower hanging fruit.
that's
Like,
absolutely right. Yeah.
so
So, and it also, like, it helps leverage our talents. It hedges our bets against, the web space. I still think that and Chris is even more confident in web development than I am. That it's going to be around for years and years to come. I think it's changing a lot, and we have to be careful. We have to pay attention
Right.
to AI, and I think we have to utilize AI. Um, so, but it's hedging your bet, and so I've always been a big fan of multiple streams of income that are
Yeah.
diverse, right? So if one
Yeah.
thing no longer performs, because I've had all of my eggs in one basket before, and that was you know, very market dependent, very
Yeah.
economy dependent, and it's scary.
For
Um,
sure.
changes happen very quickly when you're not
Yeah.
when you're not paying attention. And so I think you have to keep your ear to the ground and see where things are going. And so anyway, super excited about Lookie. But I wanted to, you talked about this week being busy. I have done,
Right.
I honestly, the last 3 weeks have been, um, my personal life has taken over. And it's not bad things,
Okay.
like my son got his license. There was a lot of last minute cramming, to make sure he was ready. And
Okay.
just life has gotten in the way, but that's going to happen, and I
Yeah.
think especially as if you're self-employed or an entrepreneur or whatever, uh, stuff will get in the way. And
Yeah.
so one of the things, like, you still have to move the needle. You still have to keep showing up. You may not be able to get
Right.
in your normal workday, right? But you have to get in something. And so I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Ferriss. He wrote like the 4 Hour Work Week.
Okay.
It's kind of like a classic. But he also wrote the 4 Hour Body, I think that's what it's called. Um, and so he basically came up with this. He adapted this concept of minimum effective dose, right? So
Okay.
it's a pharmacology concept, right? So what's the minimum amount of, let's say, ibuprofen that you have to take for it to be effective, for it to eliminate that discomfort or that inflammation,
Right.
whatever.
Sure.
And so that's kind of he took that and basically like, what's the minimum amount of effort you can put into something? So I
Okay.
think the crux in the book was basically like, what's the minimum amount of exercising you can do, to
And
change your
still
body?
get results. And sure.
Yes. But you can take that same concept and apply it to situations like this when life gets in the way and I no longer, I can put in a little bit of time. I still have to check things off my list. I'm not going to get everything done that I wanted to get done,
Right.
but I still have to do it. And so it kind of goes back to some of the productivity stuff we had talked about a few weeks ago, where like the higher priority things, or the things, is it important? Is it urgent? Doing
Right.
those things, but
Yeah.
also weighing, how quickly can I get a win? You know, if I can choose between getting one thing done today and it taking me 2 hours, or getting five things done and it taking that same 2 hours, which one moves the needle more? You know,
Right.
so it's less about urgent and important, and it's more about return on investment.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, that's just kind of like what I've had to apply the last couple weeks, and this week in particular.
Okay.
I'm not satisfied with my level of productivity, but I'm
Sure.
not down on myself either. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. You're not beating yourself up because you're not getting everything you wanted done.
right.
Man, I okay. So I'm relating to that a little bit this week. We we had a couple of things, potential things cooking, personal life. Couple of things where we're like, do we do this? Do we do this? Do we do this? The
Yeah,
timeline for making that decision is coming up, and it's causing me immense like anxiety.
of
And
course.
so we the closer it came, the worse it got. And the more I started getting panicky, being like, we have to decide. And my wife's like, hold on, I don't want to decide right now. And I was like, oh my God, what you don't understand is not deciding is a decision. And that's going to be this. If we don't
Right.
choose one of these two things, then that is going to be the natural direction we would head if we weren't being confused by these other two things.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Let's stop putting this undue pressure on ourselves. Let's just assume this natural path. This is where we're going to be. This is what we're going to do. And then if something comes up that leads us in a different direction, we'll go that way. And it was crazy because I went from a 9.5 anxiety, like humming 2 days
Yeah.
ago to last night being like, oh my God, I've just accepted this is I don't need the right decision or the wrong decision. My
Right.
wife's one of those really deep thinkers. She wants to make the right decision every time. I'm like, I just need a decision.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's wrong, I'll adjust. But
Right.
if it's right, I'll keep going. But I just need a decision, a direction. I need the needle to point somewhere, not just spin
Yeah.
aimlessly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited that this might be the wrong decision. But we made it, and that's the direction we're gonna head. And then we're
Yeah.
just gonna see what happens. And I
Because
don't
that
think it's a
decision
bad decision.
eliminates that
It's not
tension.
like, yeah, it's not a bad decision. It's one of three good ones,
Right.
but it's like, which one might be 4 or 5% better? What? Who
Right.
cares? Right? Like it, yeah, when we get to that space, if we need 5% better, we'll switch. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's oof, God, it's a bunch of stuff that we kind of had going at the house, and we had because when you're doing a project,
Mhm.
there's collateral stuff, and it's like, do we go ahead? Now's the time. Like the wall is open. Do we go ahead and run the
Right.
electrical for
Right.
putting in? We're not ready to put the light. We weren't going to put extra lights in, but we're already running the electrical. Like, do we go ahead and just run the? We got the electrician here. Let's spend the extra
Slippery
money,
slope.
get the other thing, and run the power up there at least to a
Yeah.
junction box, and then we can. So it was that kind of stuff.
Oh, man. I've lived that
We've
life.
made we've made some decisions that are well. Let me put it this way: my brain is still in 2020 price
Right.
point, and because I was previously in the construction industry and a superintendent, and like I'm used to contractor prices, not end customer prices.
Yeah.
And I'm like, considering end customer prices have only gone up, 7, 8, 9%, 10% a year for the last 5 years is a almost 100% increase in
It is.
pricing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm still working on 70, 60, 70% of 2020 pricing because that's what I
Right.
could get it done for.
Right.
And now I'm 120% time, that.
Right.
It's like, oh, take the price in your head and multiply by 2.2. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what? But that's what it is. And I'm like, so I'm just starting to kind of wrap my head around it where I'm like, that's ridiculous. I could no. I mean, I could,
You
but
could.
are those hours
Right.
where I'm saving potential money, putting myself ultimately at risk because I'm using power tools and other things that could ultimately get
Yeah.
something in my eye, could lose my finger, a voice, my whatever. Does it make more sense for me to be productive in office to afford to pay for that or to try and save the money to get the cost
Yeah.
outlay down at the loss of the income I would have used? So
It goes back to economics 101. What's
yeah,
the, opportunity cost, right?
yeah.
So, like, yeah, you
Yes,
can do it
and
yourself, but
it's
then you didn't
it's
make
so hard
money.
because
Yeah.
my brain is like, "Why would I pay that much
Right.
when I could do it for this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but a year from now, the cost outlay is still cheaper for me to have someone else do it than it was for me to do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just hard to see that far ahead.
Well, and you're a doer,
No.
right? We're both
Yeah.
doers. Like, it's hard because it's like, one, we both kind of enjoy doing things and working with our hands. And
Yes.
so when you have that skill set, you wanna just kinda do it,
Right.
and you're also
So
trying to be frugal and all those things, and it just adds up to then you do things that you shouldn't do. You should let go of, and,
yes.
I've lived that life too.
Yes. And so what we ultimately decided to do was break the bid down into multiple parts. And it's like, I know I can do phase two and phase three myself.
Mhm.
I don't even want to attempt phase one. So I'm going to pay to have phase one done. And then I'm going to reevaluate at that moment and see how I
Yeah.
feel. Because we're talking 3 months from now anyway. Okay, that's going to be middle of summer. Maybe we're doing things with the family. I'm working really because I work more hours in the summer anyway. So it's like,
Okay.
will I have the time?
Right.
Maybe not. And do I want to try and do it in the winter when I'm talking about insulating thing? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that either. So it's like, ultimately, I'm going to end up having phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 all done probably for me. But I can bite off a bite at a time rather than going, oh my God, look at that.
Right.
But I've looked at it, and the project we're adding a closet in our attic.
Okay.
And the square footage that we're going to realize after it's done, that cost per square foot based on the sale price of houses is still above all 3 phases being done, but just by that much. Whereas if I do one of the phases, then we're money ahead, really money ahead. But I'm like, either way, we're not money out.
Right.
It's money invested that we'll get back later. And then hopefully, if we live in that house for 10 years, appreciation will come up too, and it'll be worth even more. But at current value, we're not going negative or upside down where we're like, well, we got to at least wait 5 years before we could hope to recoup. It isn't a matter of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. For me, it kind of makes sense, but it's still a big bite.
It's tough when you're not used to the paying retail and then retail levels. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Definitely not that. So
I also, my dad was my dad, my uncle, my grandfather built custom homes and did for 50 years. And so I grew up in construction, and my first job was pushing a broom on the job site. And then I kind of moved and helped out the finish carpenter, doing things like at 10 years old, screwing on knobs and handles and that kind of stuff. Not big work, but so like even when we bought a home and needed like our AC done, or we replaced our flooring. The goal was we had tile, and we bought laminate flooring to put down instead of the tile.
Okay.
Next thing you know, and we got a good pricing on the laminate. Like 50 cents a square foot. And next thing you know, we spent $36,000 because we redid the casing, the trim around every door. We redid all of the baseboards. We redid the kitchen, which meant new cabinets, granite, and like I actually got to use granite and stuff. I got to use a lot of materials left over from one of my dad's job sites. So I still got
some money there still,
but still, and I did. My dad and I actually did all the cabinet work. We hung the cabinets, and it was a great time. And I'll always have that. It's actually probably one of the hardest things in selling our house and leaving California. It was hard to leave that behind because we did so much of ourselves into it. Yeah. So, but once you're used to those kinds of things, and then you get like a bid to like, I don't know, clean out your your dryer vent. It's like, what? That costs how much? It's just it's a different thing. My dad's plumber for years and years and years always took really, really good care of us. And our house had plumbing issues until we got it rectified. But it took years and years and years because someone that used to eat like 30 egg whites a day would put his shells down the sink. I don't want to talk about that, but you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Put your shells in the trash. You will pay for it, especially if you have old pipes. But anyway, now the thought of having to call a plumber is terrifying. And that is the work that I refuse to do. There's a lot of stuff I could do, but I do not let's just say that's crappy work. I don't want anything to do with it. But anyway, so it's about that time. And I know we're heading into after hours. What kind of stuff do we have on the slate for after hours? What are we going to try to tackle today? I know I have some stuff I want to work on with the book. But do you have anything specific?
I want to touch a little bit on, no, not really. I was like the motion graphics. I want to talk a little bit about that. A little bit about motion graphics, and I'm going to need some help getting some of that lined up. I want to figure out if that makes sense for me and if it'll plug in, and I don't know how to upload them and all of that stuff. So maybe we can go over that.
I want to look at your HeyGen stuff if you'll let us.
Oh man, I want to do that. I'll post what I made, and yes, let's do that because I have a few things that I've noticed that I think are my fault.
Okay.
That I'm going to make changes on, and I want to see if you notice the same things as me, or if my eyes are going to the wrong thing, because I see some things that are telltale where I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to change when I do the next upload. But I want you to look at it and go, oh, here's what I'm noticing, because it may be different. So then I can be mindful of those maybe 6 things instead of only 3.
Yeah, sounds good.
That'll make those videos much smoother, much better.
This is it right here. It's you need a second set of eyes, right?
Yes.
We all need a second set of eyes. And
right.
That's what, honestly, like, listener, join the Facebook group. We provide you multiple eyes, as many eyes as you want, feedback. Like, that's what that kind of stuff is for. Post in the Facebook group if you need just some
you want somebody to look at your website, your content, your channel, your whatever business,
and not in a judgmental way, but in a like, maybe you like constructive feedback, right?
Oh yeah, just an outside unbiased, no, highly biased, but not in the way that it's biased to your
not against
bias.
You. Yeah,
it's an alternate shifted bias. Like, our bias is different than would be yours. But yeah, if you've got questions being like, I can't figure out why people aren't connected, why this ad isn't working, why whatever isn't getting the reach I think it should, because I think it's spot on. It may be as simple as one tiny word.
Yeah.
Because God, I know I say this a lot, but words are hard, and every word has its own luggage, and it brings with it beliefs and other things. So you might be saying something, you're like, no, when I say this word, it means this particular thing. And it's like, only to you, but to everyone else, they're hearing something different. So yeah, I think it's absolutely great to get a second set of eyes and ears on it, or a third set, fourth set. So yeah, pop in, say hey, and drop a question in the group. If it's
if
not us
answering, like, we've got other process. Like, I should have taken everyone through the Lookie, the logo design, but honestly, it happened so quickly that I didn't even think about it. Next time.
You got other cogs, so next time.
I've got many things, many irons in the fire.
Cool.
Well,
so are you saying until next time people should
mind your business? All right, man. I'll see you in the after hours. Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Gerals and me, CJ Jolliffe. If you want to find out more about us, or when we're going live, or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.